Hello friends, it's Dave here from SaveDex, and like a lot of you, I'm really looking forward to Breath of the Wild 2 coming next year. Not only to play the game, but also to find out more about it. We have had two very brief trailers so far, and we don't really know a whole lot about this game. Not even the title. And that is the topic for this video. What will this game be called? From the get-go, I thought that it will be called The Legend of Zelda Blank of the Wild or Breath of the Blank. But which of those two words will be changed if this is the case? Out of these two scenarios, I think the word wild is more likely to be kept. I'm sure that everyone has their own theories on how this game will be named, and here is mine. What if Nintendo have already told us what it is, and we just simply haven't noticed? Most people, and myself included at the start of this video, refer to this game as Breath of the Wild 2, and that is what it could end up being called. They have numbered a Zelda sequel before in Zelda 2 The Adventure of Link, and Breath of the Wild is such a recognisable name, being the best-selling Zelda game, that maybe they don't want to ditch that title at all. So that is my theory. They are not ditching the title Breath of the Wild, but they are not calling it Breath of the Wild 2 either. I think the title of this game could have been revealed to us at the end of the very first trailer. The sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. What if that is the title they end up going with? In the few times Aonuma has appeared in directs and referenced it, he always refers to it as that. That could be just because it is indeed a sequel to the game, but it could be because that's what the game is called. It might seem very strange to name it that, but look at names Nintendo has used in the past. Imagine going back in time 20 years and telling someone that they will release a game that's called New Super Mario Bros. At first I didn't think it was a title, just a working one, because it's a new Super Mario Bros. Game, but that's just the title they went with. And it became a series in its own right. Hell, the number 2 is put on the third game in this series. They named a console Wii, for crying out loud. They name things weirdly for sure, but we look back on those names and they don't seem that weird now. So although the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild might seem like a strange name, it wouldn't do in a few years' time. It sure would be a mouthful though. But speaking of game titles that are a bit of a mouthful, I remember when we saw that first trailer for Smash 4. It ended with the Super Smash Bros. Logo splitting into two and saying Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS and Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. When I first saw that, I thought, oh, okay, we haven't got a name for it yet. But I was later told, no, those are the actual titles. And that seemed like a weird way to name these games, but we all accepted it. But I never saw anyone but Nintendo call them that. Everyone just said Smash 4. Just like if they do go with the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, only Nintendo would call it that, we would all say Breath of the Wild 2. And the last thing I want to point out is, Nintendo, when referring to the name, have not said it's only a placeholder name. Remember when Hyrule Warriors was first revealed to Wii U? It said name not final, even though that's what they ended up calling it. Luigi's Mansion 3 as well was a working title, but it's what they ended up calling it. So if they put those disclaimers on games in the past, even with titles they ended up using, then why not put this disclaimer here? So with all this concrete evidence, I must truly believe that they will go with this name. Of course not! With these subtitles under Aonuma, the word sequel isn't even capitalised. How can it be a title? I do think they will go with something of the wild, but I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up calling it the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It would be funny. So what do you think it will be called? Let me know in the comments down below, and make sure you click that like and subscribe button to keep up with us in the future. Thank you so much for watching everyone. See you in the next one.